Could you forgive your spouse if they betrayed you? Would you swallow your pride and endure it, or would you divorce? What would you do if your child was betrayed by their spouse? Whatever happens to a person usually comes from those closest to them. What happened to Halil was what he thought was love. That morning, a harsh wind blew through the district, bringing gray clouds. It was as if the sky was forewarning of what was to come. Halil woke up just after the morning call to prayer. He got out of bed quietly, walking on his tiptoes to the bathroom so as not to wake the children. He looked at himself in the mirror. The lines on his face had deepened. He was tired but used to it. He was a lumber worker. He went to work in the dark of the morning and returned in the dark of the evening. His whole life had been this way. But that morning was different. As he left the bathroom, Sedef's eyes were waiting for him. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, eager to say something. "Halil," she said. "Yes?" Halil replied while buttoning his shirt. "We need to talk," Sedef said. Halil frowned. He hated those words. "We need to talk" was usually the threshold sentence for bad news. But he remained silent and waited. "The kids are grown now." "I want to work," Sedef said. Halil didn't roll his eyes. He just bowed his head. He knew this conversation was coming. Sedef was an office management graduate but had been a housewife for years. Halil hadn't wanted her to work. It was a small district. People talked, and he admitted he was a jealous man. "Sedef, I'm not fond of the private sector. I don't want you in other men's offices from morning to night. But if you want, prepare for the civil service exams, KPSS. If you become a government official, I won't say a word," Halil said. Sedef nodded, pretending to accept, but she had other plans. Halil couldn't sense it. From that day on, the house changed. Exam books and colorful highlighters appeared on the table. After sending the kids to school, Sedef started solving tests. But months passed, exams were held, and Sedef didn't get a high enough score. Some years, no positions opened in her field. Halil said if not this year, then next. But Sedef's patience had run out. One morning, Sedef's sister arrived. Over tea, she brought up the topic. "The municipality is hiring subcontracted workers. If we can find a reference, we can get Sedef in. It's a government office and insured. It will put your mind at ease." Halil eventually agreed, thinking that if she were in a government office, his mind would be at peace. Sedef started working in the office services of the municipality. She handled data entry, filing, and phones. On her first day, she was excited, walking the corridors with a coffee mug, smiling at new colleagues. That evening, she came home late. Halil was tense but didn't ask. When it happened again, he asked why. Sedef laughed it off. "I was just chatting with the girls, and still getting used to it." As days passed, Sedef changed. She began looking in the mirror more, dyeing her hair more often, and wearing perfume even when coming home late. On weekends, she went to breakfasts with female friends, concerts, and cinema. Sedef was becoming a social woman, but to Halil, this was all foreign. One evening, Halil returned to find the kids home, but Sedef was missing. It was 9 p.m. He called her. "Where are you?" "Having coffee with the girls at a new cafe." "We'll be home soon," she said. "I just got back from the factory." "Aren't you coming home?" "What is it, Halil? Can't I have time for myself?" "The kids are fine," she snapped. Halil thought long and hard that night. His wife had changed, but how and why? The answer hadn't surfaced yet. In the lumber factory, the noise never stopped. The whine of saws mixed with the smell of wood and the sweat of workers. Halil was quieter now. He didn't joke with his colleagues. He felt a restlessness he couldn't define. He had shared a pillow with the same woman for years, but now even the scent of that pillow felt foreign. Since she started working, Sedef was out before he woke. Halil prepared the kids for school. In the evenings, the house was silent. There was either no dinner or a cold pot waiting. One evening, one of the kids asked, "Dad, where is Mom?" Halil didn't know. He called, she didn't answer. Then a message came. "Sitting by the shore with the girls. It'll be late. Eat without me." That night, Halil sat at the table facing an empty chair. The pot was silent. The walls were silent. A home should be full of noise, laughter, and breath. He stared at the ceiling that night, unable to sleep. Suspicion began to root. Sedef's speech became sharper and more critical. "You've thought small your whole life," she told him one evening. "You don't grow just by working, Halil." "I want to build a life for myself," she shouted during an argument. Halil remained silent because staying silent was easier than not understanding. One weekend, Sedef was preparing to go out. Her hair was straightened, nails polished, outfit carefully chosen. "Where are you going?" Halil asked at the door. "Breakfast with the girls." "You always say the girls, but which girls? Are you interrogating me now?" Sedef snapped. "I am your wife, not your slave." One night, Halil woke to a sound. Sedef was in the living room, whispering on the phone. He waited until she finished, then walked in. She was sitting with a slight smile on her face. The next day, he checked her phone. A message caught his eye. "Are you coming out with the girls this weekend?" The sender's name was Mustafa. Halil froze. He had never heard this name. He went to the kitchen and asked her directly, "Who is Mustafa?" "A friend from work," she said without blinking. "What kind of friend?" "Just a normal friend I talk to." "Then why is he asking about your weekend?" "Because he wants to come with us." "With the girls?" Halil asked. Sedef started screaming, "Enough, Halil. You suspect everything." One morning before work, Halil opened her phone again while she slept. He saw a message chain with Mustafa. "I miss you." "I miss you too. Last night was wonderful. I sent my wife to my mother's. The house belongs to us today." Halil's inner self screamed, but no sound came out. He took screenshots, closed the phone, and collapsed to his knees. His world shattered. The most painful part of betrayal is that the person still continues to love. For days, Halil looked at those screenshots. Every message was a bullet. Every emoji was a dagger. He didn't scream or cry. He just went to the factory with his eyes on the ground, as if looking for his dropped dignity. He decided that the truth, when hidden, was a poison. The antidote was exposure. That evening, while Sedef was out, he transferred all the message logs to a USB drive. He then sent them to several close relatives, acquaintances, and even some workers at the factory. Hours passed. His phone didn't stop ringing. Some called, some stayed silent. When Sedef walked in at midnight, Halil stood up and showed her the phone. Her eyes widened. "What is this?" Halil asked. Sedef was silent. "Speak." Halil reacted. "You misunderstood, Halil. It's not like that," she stammered. "Then correct me. Were you with Mustafa?" Sedef bowed her head. "Once. I swear it only happened once." Halil's hands fell to his sides. He felt paralyzed. He walked to the kitchen and drank a glass of water, as if water could clean everything. His mother arrived, having heard the news. In front of her, Sedef confessed again. "Yes, I cheated on your son, but it was once and I regretted it." The old woman knelt on the floor. "I gave you a son. What did you give me?" "I swear I'm sorry," Sedef cried. "Oaths do not clean lies," the old woman replied. The whole district knew now. But Sedef didn't leave the house. She didn't seem ashamed. Instead, she had a secret air of victory, as if she had forced Halil to accept the situation. One day, Halil saw Mustafa in the market. He ran and attacked him. "You ruined my life," he yelled, landing punch after punch. People separated them. The police were called. Halil was released after giving a statement. At the municipality, the gossip was too much to ignore. Sedef received a message. "You are on administrative leave." A few days later, her contract was terminated for moral reasons. However, Mustafa's situation was different. He had strong references. He kept his job. His own wife even defended him, claiming Sedef had slandered her husband. Halil's mother couldn't stand the situation. "This woman has rotted your life. What are you waiting for?" she asked Halil. "Enough, mother. You never liked her anyway." Halil snapped. "I love you, my son. You don't deserve a woman like this." "Enough," Halil shouted. "Peace left this house when you entered it, not her." Halil began to blame his mother. He chose to believe a lie that suppressed even Sedef's own confession. The old woman left the house crying, without looking back. Knowing the truth but choosing not to believe it brings a person to the brink of madness. Halil walked that line. He went to the hospital, He was silent, distracted, and suffered from a heavy trauma. He was admitted to a clinic for 3 months. During those days, Sedef stayed by his side as a companion. She played the role of the loyal wife perfectly. She knitted by his bed and smiled at the doctors. They thought she was a saint. Meanwhile, Halil's mother sat alone on a bench in the hospital garden for hours, but Sedef wouldn't let her in. Halil is uncomfortable with you. He needs to be alone to heal, Sedef told her. Sedef whispered in Halil's ear, I never lied to you. We were just friends. Your mother never loved me. I will heal you, Halil. Halil didn't resist. Perhaps he chose to believe her because the truth was too painful. When he was discharged, Sedef led him out by the hand. They returned to the district, but people's stares were cold. No one greeted them. One day, Halil opened a voice message from his mother sent weeks ago. That woman told me with her own mouth that she was with Mustafa. Am I lying, my son? Have you forgotten that night? Halil deleted the recording. My mother never liked her, he muttered to himself. He had abandoned himself to the lie. Sedef eventually said, We can't stay in this district. Everyone is talking. Let's move to a new city and start a clean life. Halil didn't object. They moved to a city where no one knew them. Back in the old district, Halil's mother was left alone. She felt she had lost her son. She developed shingles, zona, from the stress. When you lose the child you gave birth to a stranger, your insides get sick, she whispered. She stopped seeing people and only looked at old photos of Halil as a boy. In the new city, Halil remained silent. Sedef quickly made new friends and started looking for work, coming home energetic and dressed up. One evening, Halil found a notebook from his time in the clinic. In it, he had written that night, I did nothing. She betrayed me. I stayed silent. I thought I could forgive, but to forgive is to forget. I am not forgetting. Memories flooded back. The confession, the messages, his mother's tears. That morning, a neighbor's child asked him, Uncle, why doesn't your mother come? My mom says your poor mother is in a bad way. Halil's lips trembled. He went inside and asked Sedef, Do you know how my mother is? How should I know? She never loved me, Sedef replied. You kicked her out of her home, Sedef. You were driving me crazy then, Halil. You and your mother blamed me. What was my fault, Sedef? You didn't understand my desires, she said, and walked out without looking back. That evening, an envelope arrived from his mother. Inside was a photo from his circumcision ceremony and a letter. My son Halil, I never gave up on you, but you gave up on me. I didn't speak to ruin your wife, but to share the painful truth. I am alone now. Shingles has taken over my neck. I haven't forgotten anything. Even if you don't come, know that I have forgiven you. I miss you so much. Halil looked into Sedef's closet and saw luxury bags and perfumes he hadn't noticed before, bought in recent months. He went to a cafe, sat alone, and whispered to the empty chair, Sedef, I love you, but you never loved me. I forgive you, but I don't forget. You are no longer my wife. You are just a black smoke that blinded me. He decided he would go to see his mother the next day. He realized that forgiving yourself for a lie is the biggest deception. Halil took the bus back to the district. When he reached the house, it was cold. The curtains were closed. The TV was on, but there was no sound. He went to his mother's room. He saw a body wrapped in a blanket on the bed. Mother? He whispered. No answer. Mother, I'm here. He touched her arm. It was cold. She had passed away alone, her last hope of hearing her son's voice gone. Halil collapsed. He couldn't even cry. He was too late. Only a few people attended the funeral. Everyone knew his silence was his own punishment. That night, he stayed in his mother's empty room. He found an old notebook where he had written to her as a child, Mom, when I grow up, I will never make you sad. I will always be with you. Halil covered his face. I lied, Mother. I left you alone. When he returned to the new city, his own house was locked. Sedef's closet was empty. A note was stuck to the mirror. Halil, I always knew what I wanted. You didn't. I didn't mean to make you suffer, but you were weak and wanted to trust me, so I used that. Don't look for me. Take care of yourself, because now you have no one. Halil sat in a chair and closed his eyes. He realized that saying "I forgive you" was just a way to trick himself. He began to live alone in heavy silence. He saw his children once a month. They lived with Sadef, who had reportedly started a new life with a civil servant. Halil didn't ask. He didn't listen. He just stayed silent. One day, watching the snow fall, he remembered his childhood, the warm house, and his mother's scarf. He finally accepted the truth. His only regret wasn't the lost love or the betrayal. His lifelong wound was what he had put his mother through. Please, no matter who it is for, do not break your mother's heart. Death comes at an unexpected moment, and every death is too early for those we love. Now, get up or pick up the phone. Call your mother and tell her you love her. If she is already gone, say a prayer for her. Until we meet again, don't forget to subscribe and like the video.